Yo, what's up, family? Okay, so I want to do a couple little studies with you guys. I've told y'all that the book of Jeremiah has always been a book that pops out at me that the Lord uses a lot to reveal things that He wants me to talk about. And it kind of goes with some of the things that I've witnessed as a child, and just, but anyway, okay, so Jeremiah got to a point where he just got so fed up with trying to warn people, of the coming destructions and things that were going to happen. I want to do a little cross-referencing first, but before I do the cross-referencing, I'm going to read you out of the book of Jeremiah, chapter 6, and Jeremiah 23. Okay, so we're going to start, let's see, Jeremiah chapter 6, 15 through 23. Were they ashamed when they committed abomination? No, they were not at all shamed. They did not know how to blush. Therefore they shall fall among those who fall. At the time that I punish them, they shall be overthrown, says the Lord. Thou sayest the Lord, stand by the roads and look, and ask the ancient paths where the good way is, and walk in it, and find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk in it. I set a watchman over you, saying, pay attention to the sound of the trumpet. But they said, we will not pay attention. Therefore, hear, O nations, and know, O congregations, what will happen to them. Hear, O earth, behold, I am bringing disaster upon this people, the fruit of their devices, because they have not paid attention to my words. As for my law, they have rejected it. What use to me is frankincense that comes from Sheba, or sweet cane from a distant land? Your burnt offerings are not acceptable, nor your sacrifices pleasing to me. Therefore, thou sayest the Lord, behold, I will lay before this people stumbling blocks against which they shall stumble. Fathers and sons together, and neighbor and friend shall perish. Thou sayest the Lord, behold, a people is coming from north country, a great nation stirring from the farthest parts of the earth. They lay hold on bows. They are cruel and have no mercy. The sound of them is like a roaring sea. They ride on horses, set in array as a man for battle against you, O daughter of Zion. And moving on to, let's see, we're in Jeremiah 23, 29 through 33. Is not my word like fire, declares the Lord, and like a hammer that breaks the rock in pieces? Therefore, behold, I am against the prophets, declares the Lord, who steal my words from one another. Behold, I am against the prophets, declares the Lord, who use their tongues and declares the Lord. Behold, I am against those prophesies lying dreams, declares the Lord, and who tell them and lead my people astray by their lies and their recklessness, when I did not send them or charge them. So they do not profit these people at all, declares the Lord. When one of these people or a prophet or a priest asks you, what is the burden of the Lord? What is the burden of the Lord? You shall say to them, you are the burden, and I will cast you off, declares the Lord. Okay, now we're going to go and do some cross-referencing. Let's see. Now, this is out of the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 18. Let those to be put to shame who persecute me, but let me not be put to shame. Let them be dismayed, but let me not be dismayed. Bring upon them the day of disaster. Destroy them with double destruction. It just got to a point where Jeremiah was just, he was tired. He was, and the things that his people were doing is a lot like what the world's doing now. It's so very similar when you read it. I mean, it's crazy. But I'm going to cross-reference a couple scriptures with you guys. Let's see here. Psalms 35:4. Let them be put to shame and dishonor who seek after my life. Let them be turned back and disappointed who devise evil against me. Jeremiah 20:11. But the Lord is with me as a dread warrior. Therefore my persecutors will stumble. They will not overcome me, and they will be greatly shamed, for they will not succeed. Their eternal dishonor will never be forgotten. Jeremiah 11:20. But, O Lord of hosts, who judges righteously, who tests the heart and the mind, let me see your vengeance upon them, for I have committed my cause. Psalms 40:14. Let those be put to shame and disappointed altogether who seek to snatch away my life. Let those be turned back and brought to dishonor who delight in my hurt. Psalms 35:8. Let the destruction come upon him who he does not know it, and let the net that he hid ensnare him. Let him fall into it to his own destruction. Psalms 25, verses 2 through 3. O my God, in you I trust. Let me not be put to shame. Let my enemies exult over me. Indeed, none who wait for you shall be put to shame. They shall be ashamed who are wantonly treacherously. Psalms 83:17 through 18. Let them put to shame and dismay forever. Let them perish in disgrace, that they may know that you alone, whose name is the Lord, are the most high over all the earth. Jeremiah 18:19 through 23, family. Hear me, O Lord, and listen to the voice of my adversaries. Should good be repaid with evil? Yet they have dug a pit for my life. Remember how I stood before you to speak good for them, to turn away your wrath from them. Therefore, deliver up their children to famine. Give them over to the power of the sword. Let their wives become childless and widowed. May their men meet death by pestilence, their youths be struck down by sword and battle. May a cry be heard from their houses when you bring the plunderers suddenly upon them. For they have dug a pit to take me and lay snares for my feet. Yet you, O Lord, know all their plotting to kill me. Forgive not their iniquity, nor blot out their sin from your sight. Let them be overthrown before you. Deal with them in the time of your anger. Jeremiah 17:16. I have not run away from being your shepherd, nor I have desired the day of sickness. You know what came out my lips. It was before your face. Jeremiah 16:18. But first I will doubtless repay their iniquity and their sin, because they have polluted my land with their carcasses of their detestable idols, and filled my inheritance with their abominations. Psalms 71:1. In you, O Lord, do I take refuge. Let me never be put to shame. Psalms 72. Let them be put to shame and confusion who seek my life. Let them be turned back and brought to dishonor who delight in my hurt. Job 16:14. He breaks me breach upon breach. He runs upon me like a warrior. Jeremiah 14:17. You shall say to them this word, let my eyes run down with tears